Hey, how you doing today? And welcome to another video piano lesson. Today we're going to be talking about advanced arpeggio sweeping. Now, if you haven't watched the basic arpeggio sweep yet, definitely go watch that video first because it's going to show you the form, it's going to show you how to learn it, and you really want to drill that in before you go to the advanced arpeggio sweeping. So, if you remember the basic was something like this. I'll just do it. Let's do D minor. I think these sound better in minor keys. So the basic one sounded like. Now the advanced version sounds something like this. Now all it is really is taking the basic sweep and kind of adding onto it. And I like to think of it like Lego bricks, right? So you start off with a basic one and then you add a brick to make it a little different. And then you add another brick here and you add another brick here. So there's three main bricks, or there's four main kind of bricks that I sometimes add on. So the first one is what I call the hit at the bottom. And all it is instead of just starting off with the arpeggio, you do a hit at the bottom and then you start the sweep, and it makes the sweep seem to come out of just this powerful place. So it sounds. So basically all it is you play an octave at the bottom. So if I'm in D minor, it's going to be a D. And all I play is I play that, and then I start with the right hand. So it's going to be one beat of this, one, triple it, triple it, triple it, one. And you can go back down if you want. And you can also, if you want, you can play this fifth, this A in here too. Usually I just play octaves, but you don't want to get too much down there because if you play too much, it'll sound muddy. So, and all it's going to be a whole beat. So make sure it's not. You notice how that was all the same length? This should be one full triplet. So it's like triplet, 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 one. So that's how the rhythm kind of works for that. So usually I add a hit a lot of times before I play it. So that's the first thing. Now the second thing you can add is what I call a restart. So all it is when you're playing at any point during the arpeggio run, you can stop and restart the arpeggio run somewhere else. So for example, I could do my hit, and now I'm doing arpeggio, arpeggio, and now when I get to this point, instead of crossing over here, I'm going to move this down an octave and restart the arpeggio on this D. So in slow motion, it's going to be. Let's restart again. So at any time, you just go an octave down and restart. So in fast motion, looks something like that. So that's the second thing you add on, or you can add on. That one's a little trickier, and it gets tough to, while you're playing your right hand, focus and move your left hand down at the same time. So you're really going to have to practice that one slow. If you want to start off with an easier one, this is the third one, and it's called the overlap. And all it is instead of crossing over, you just play the exact same notes with your left hand that you just played with your right hand. So for example, it would be D, F, A, and then I repeat it with my left hand. D, F, A, D, F, A, repeat the exact same notes. So it sounds something like this. So it's a good way to kind of add more time into your arpeggio run. If you want a longer one, then instead of, getting through the keys so fast by crossing over, you replay the notes so you get more time out of it. So that's the second kind. Let me do it in slow motion. Did I do it in slow motion already? Just to make sure you guys got it. So hit, D, F, A, 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 D. All right, so that's the second thing I kind of add on. Remember, these are like Lego blocks. So you're like, oh, I just played the normal one. Now I stick in an overlap. And I don't have to do the overlap all the way up. I could just do one of them overlapped, right? I could do. Notice I didn't overlap the first one. I didn't overlap till right here. Watch it again. And in fast motion, sounds something like that. All right, so that's the second kind, what I call, or the third the overlap. Remember, we have the hit at the bottom, the restart, and the overlap. All right, so the last variation is what I call adding a glissando down to the end of an arpeggio. So you play your normal sweep up, and then instead of going back down in arpeggios, you're gonna go down into glissando. And I'll tell you the technique in a glissando in a later lesson, so don't worry about the technique of it now, but it's gonna sound like this when it's done. I just love that, and I'm telling you, people go crazy when you add arpeggios and then a glissando, because arpeggios are already fast, and then a glissando is even faster, so it really ramps up the speed. So all you have to do is your basic arpeggio sweep up, or I won't go all the way up because I'm going out of the camera, but your basic sweep, and then you just switch to your thumb, and then glide down, and then with your left hand, you're gonna hit that final note. So your left hand plays the final note, and you glissando. Let's just put our final note here so you can see it better. So you glissando down, so it should go right into that last note. And it's a really cool little add-on, and I love just ending pieces like that. People will think you're awesome, and it makes you look flashy and cool. So I really love ending pieces like that. All right, so those were the 4 types: hit at the bottom, restart, overlap, and glissando down. And remember, you can just throw these Lego blocks anywhere. You can combine these. You know, there's not just one way to do it. You can start with the hit, then do the overlap, and then glissando down for the end. And you can kind of just, you know, or you could do a hit at the bottom, restart, overlap, and then glissando down. You know, you can kind of mix and match these. That's why I say they're like Lego blocks. You kind of just mix and match them and until they work really well for you. All right, that's all I got for you for this lesson. Remember, if you didn't watch the beginner version also teaches the form and the technique and the practice strategies to learn them faster. So make sure you watch the beginner's lesson too. And for this one, look, if you get this good and you think of a cool little pattern, send me a video of you playing it. I'll probably feature you on one of my new YouTube videos that I have if you're interested in that kind of stuff. I really love to see what creative stuff people come up with when they have all these little tools to play with. All right, that's all I got for you. Peace out and happy practicing.